everybody, this is Sam from Sounds Like Sam. Hope you're having a good day. Today I'm going to be talking to Tree Guy, or Tree Man. A couple months ago, I worked with him in Mississippi at the Beau Rivage in Biloxi. Helped him cut trees. He's basically like the super connector of New Orleans, so if anybody is listening in New Orleans, he's probably been to your house and cut your trees. So hey Tree Man, how's it going?
Fine, Sam. How are you?
I'm doing well. Glad to have you on the show. Should be a good one.
Great to be here. And I want to thank you again for working with me those 4 or 5 weeks.
I'm not gonna lie, the first week was probably just the toughest, just because I introduced you to Island Boys. which is funny because I think almost every single day you would call out from the tree like, "Island Boy, we wear vests, yeah."
I know. I have a bad habit of repeating things that are aggravating, so I want to apologize for that. That's part
No,
of my
you're
nature.
no, it's fine. I just thought it was funny. I mean, yeah, it was annoying for a little bit, but
You knew how you know how the Island Boys came up. A friend of mine puts a crew, KREWE. He has a crew that's called the Dead Rock Stars,
mhm.
and they march in the Muses Parade on Thursday night. And this past year, they have one float. The rest of the guys, I think it's over 100 guys, march in the parade. And the float, they usually try to get someone who looks like someone famous and put them on the float.
Mhm.
And they found guys who looked like the Island Boys, put them on the float, and the next day, the local newspaper wrote up that the Dead Rock Stars had special guests come in, the Island Boys. And unbeknownst to them, that they were imposters.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember that. That was funny. Oh, they did the same thing. Yeah, that was like your first introduction, and then we listened to their one hit, Good
You even
Times.
introduced it to my son-in-law Jared and his friends that were in town for the Final Four.
That's right. They had it that like right as we were walking out. That I can't remember if it was the first day or second day, but they were calling you Island Dave on the drive there. I thought that was funny. It's like
That was very funny.
just like Cup Guy.
Oh yeah, Cup Guy.
Cup
Like
Guy.
Island Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Good times. Well, basically, worked for you for 5 weeks. Part on weekends we would spend it in New Orleans. Weekdays we'd go to the Biloxi casino and resort. Work the trees. I think we did like, how many oaks was it? Like 26?
29.
Yeah, that was a good time. And honestly, it was such a great deal. Like, totally earned it. I think I ate like I gained 10 pounds. Being there because we ate in the EDR like almost 2 or 3 times a day, where it was just like a buffet line of anything you can eat. Oh, there's Layla.
she just snuck in. I forgot I left the door open. Layla knows Sam very well because she would jump in his bed when he was working for the Padres.
That's right.
And wake him up every morning. And I think she recognizes his voice.
That's
She's
so funny.
17 years old.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I remember like when I'm like at least 2 or 3 times I woke up at like 4 in the morning and Layla was like, I checked to see what time it is, and I was looking for my phone, and I was like, there's a butt on my phone. It was Layla's butt. She was sitting on my phone at like 4 in the morning, and then I was like, "Oh, Layla, get out of here." I was like, and then she was like meowing, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But then like she meowed for like another like 10 minutes. I was like, "Okay, you need to go now." And so I think I just let her. I think I just let her outside, and I was like, "Get out of here." But yeah, or like I'd wake up at like 5:30 a.m. and she'd like crawl over my head.
I I would wake up at like 5 or 5:30 to make coffee, and she would be standing outside your room just looking at the door.
That's so funny. Well, because she also made like a nice little like cat bed out of my t-shirts. in like a drawer I had. Like she'd crawl in the drawer and just sit in it.
Yeah,
It was
she
funny.
likes soft. It must have been 100% cotton.
I think it was. Yeah, but yeah, Layla was great. Hopefully she's doing well.
I think she has to go to the vet here shortly to get her rabies shot or something.
Nice. That's fun.
Yeah, she's looking forward to it. She likes to drive over to the vet. She sits in the front seat and puts her legs on the dashboard, her front paws,
Nice.
and looks around, and looks around the neighborhood. And if people actually see her, they give me the double look, like, man, that's weird. Look at that big old cat. That's
Yeah, Princess Layla. Yeah, well, yeah, that's a little bit about David.
that
Or-
guy. But what about the security guard? Which she told me.
Yeah, I know. I was just about to bring that up where she thought we were, that I was going to take over my dad's business. Even though, for the record, we are not father and son. I'm his nephew. Yeah, I definitely remember that, and I was just like, wait, what? When I was there, I was staying at your house in New Orleans on the weekends because we worked during the week, and I swear we went every day we were there. We went to Smoothie King and got I think you got like a chocolate Hulk every single day, like an extra, the 32 ounce or 32 ounce, and then we'd always drive by. We do drive-bys past Arch Manning, who is Cooper Manning's son, who's like the #1 quarterback in high school for the 2023 class, and our goal, he hasn't announced who he's going to, so our plan was to see if he would come out, and so that we could jump out, so that I could go and jump out of the car and go ask him like my 5 quick questions, which were, Arch Manning, what's your favorite color? Crimson red, tiger gold, Texas orange, Ole Miss baby blue,
Or Georgia Red.
or Georgia red. And then you'd say, I think crimson. No, wrong one. Your favorite color is gold. And then I was gonna ask him, would you pay the Island Boys to share with the country what team you will play for? I'm gonna bet his answer would be no, but who knows?
One time we drove by, didn't we see his dad?
That's right. Well, we saw his dad a couple of times, I felt like twice. But one time we saw them. Apparently they have like a one-way street, and they drive on the wrong way going out. So I was like, well, maybe we can catch him and put him on TMZ, and we can make like $100. But I don't know if that many people know who Cooper is anyway, so I don't think we could have made that much money. But, you know, if you see Kim Kardashian or like Pete Davidson or something, or like Olivia Rodrigo somewhere in the streets, or really any like kind of A-list or even B-list celebrity, you can make like decent money from just like giving them your pictures of them. Like I know one of my friend's sister's friends saw Kim Kardashian like on the highway in her car. She took a picture of her, and then TMZ paid her $10,000 for the rights to that photo.
Wow.
So paparazzi is a crazy business if you're going after the right people.
Well, Cooper's on Fox Game Day. You know, I think he has a little segment.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it's either Fox, but it's something, he has like a regular little gig on Sunday mornings, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing about New Orleans and celebrities is we have a tendency to give them their wrong, you know, and not fangirl out on them. And so they like that. We like, you know, everybody has like an unspoken rule on that one.
That makes sense. I mean, What was the place with the flaming Dr. Peppers? Tastes like it tastes like a Dr. Pepper, but it's not a Dr. Pepper.
At the gold mine.
The gold mine, the gold mine. Probably, I only had like 3, but I'm sure, I think I only had 3 my time there, but I would have totally had more. But I was gonna bring up when you said celebrity, because I think the owner of it, he told us that like Elon Musk like showed up there one time for his sister's like bridal party or something, and he was like, "Hey man."
And then he called her Stephanie, but Lady Gaga was there too.
That's right. I forgot about that. Is Stephanie actually her real name?
I think it is. I don't know. But he calls it, whenever he refers to it, he calls her Stephanie.
That's funny.
So I guess it is, maybe. I don't even know.
And I mean, he's literally living like a dream job too, because he only works on like, it's only open Fridays and Saturdays, right?
Yep, and he lives upstairs with his 3 kids.
That's like what I want to do one day.
And it was an old funeral home back in the 1800s, and the cemetery was a block away when the city was first coming in the 1600s, 1700s. The cemetery was like a block away from his house.
Oh yeah, was it because it wasn't that where they held like the horse-drawn carriages or something?
Yeah, the horses were kept downstairs where the bar is now. That was a funeral home. I mean, upstairs was where the embalming and the wakes were held, and downstairs is where the horses that pull the carriages for the casket were downstairs.
Yeah, that makes sense. It seems like it's a high. It seemed like a high ceiling, so I could see that like horses would be able to fit in there. I think it'd be cool. He should.
There's a few buildings in the French Quarter and downtown that are constructed like that, where the funeral home was upstairs and downstairs was the stable for the horses.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it'd be cool if one of the bars down there like incorporated, like if they just like kept half of it as a horse place. They just allowed horses to like sit in there, or like.
I agree.
That'd be cool. That'd be so fun.
Like for Cassidy and Jared's wedding, I wanted more horses, with cops.
Oh yeah. So then you can just keep them in the bar, or like the horse half of the bar.
Yeah.
And then you could, when you get really drunk, you could just be like, "Oh, sweet horses, those are cool."
Wow, who brought the horses in? I wonder if that horse likes flaming Dr. Peppers.
Let's give him a few.
You also have to stay there till 4:00 in the morning.
I know, yeah. That'd be fun. Or go to I want to stay up till like the latest that Snake and Jake's allows too. $2 Schlitz.
Yeah.
Best deal in New Orleans.
Yeah, that is a great deal.
So I can't.
They're one of the largest Schlitz sales establishments that I know. I think it was possibly in the South. They sell more Schlitz than anybody.
I mean, that makes sense. They're literally $2 a Schlitt.
I know. And then I'm trying to remember what the most expensive beer you had was. Was it at the Shucker game?
Oh yeah, that was so expensive. It was like $10 or $11 for like just it was just like a cup of beer.
Did you get a beer at the Final Four?
I think I did.
Yeah, that was a inexpensive ticket, huh?
Oh yeah, we went to the NCAA championship game, Kansas versus UNC, and yeah, we ended up, well, because originally I wasn't even planning. I wasn't really thinking we were gonna go, because I was like, man, I don't really want to go by myself, and Tree Man doesn't really want to do it. Tree Man doesn't really want to go, and then like I finally talked you into it because I was like, we can get tickets for like $30. Are you sure you don't want to go? And he's like, okay, fine. Like if you buy them, I was like, okay, I'll buy them. So I buy them, and then we get in there, and it was. I mean, they made it look nice. It was in the Superdome, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so not like the Smoothie King Arena where normal basketball games would be.
Oh, it's the Caesars now.
Oh, that's right, Caesars. Yeah, thinking of the old one, but yeah, they definitely filled out that stadium. But I was gonna say I honestly wasn't feeling great about it when you suggested it, but you were like, let's go see if how low we can sit. I was like, okay, and so because our seats were in like the 600 section, and we were in like the 120 section, and I think it was behind one of the basketball hoops, but it was still pretty far back because it was a stadium, but it was much closer than our view would have been if we actually had gone up to our 600 level seats. How to sneak into any section at a sports game. And this was these were your rules, and let me see if you agree or disagree with them. 1. Find the fattest guy working the section. Step 2. When he's not looking, go sit down in that section. Side note, if he or she tries to stop you, ignore them and act like you didn't hear them. Does that sound accurate? Is that
it's right on the money.
That's basically what we did.
Yeah, that's my rule book.
I think my dad at least used to say when he used to go to, I forget if it was Eagles games or something, that one of his friends, or like one of the dads, would buy like 2 tickets and be like, he'd go up to the place where they didn't have the digital scanners or digital tickets, and he'd be like, hey, here's a ticket for me and my son. He'd have like all the other kids go up front and already like go through and be like, I got the tickets. And so once they were already in, he'd be like, okay, here's my ticket and here's my son's ticket. And then the people would be like, wait, but what about all those kids? And they already be in and be like, see ya. And then they go get seats. So like 5 people will get in for like two tickets.
I like that one. That one's good. What we used to do when the Saints played at Tulane Stadium, and even their first years at the Dome, it was similar. Like you'd have a friend who would buy a ticket, and then you would be behind them, and there wouldn't be any scanners or any of that stuff back then. They would just take the tickets and tear them in half, and we would be behind the guy with the ticket with just like a $2 or $5 at the most, and you would walk through and give the ticket taker a $5 bill, and he'd take it and let you in. And we did that a lot of times. But I liked how you know, your gig with the Rams now, you had become an expert at the ticket scanning.
I was just afraid that when we would go in, like, because if you don't have the digital ticket, they can't let you in. It's not like you can't scalp tickets anymore, because literally if you don't have a digital ticket, if you show up with a piece of paper, they're going to be like, no, like we don't do that. And so for me, when I was like, oh, well, it'll be hard for us to like sneak in and get like those tickets or like those seats because people are going to be checking them. We basically got around that because we didn't even show them the ticket. We just, as long as you just act confidently, and you go in there and you just, when they're not looking, you go up and sit, like then you're golden. And I think for our case too, like what made us so successful, and I think we just got lucky because not enough, like the people didn't end up, the people's seats that we sat in, like I don't even know if they were there or not, because
I don't either.
and I think we literally picked the spots. We just happened to pick the row where like nobody showed up. At one point too, there were like literally 10 chicks from UNC that came by and sat, like, they were like, "Are you sitting in this row? Or like, are these your seats or something?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Okay." And they all, literally 10 chicks came down and sat in the row. And then when they brought like another 2 more, they were like, "Oh, dang it. Like, now we can't sit here anymore. Like, let's go back to our real seats." I was like, what the hell? Like, how did that many, I mean, they literally must have been like, I think they also did the same strategy as us, because, but the guy probably didn't even give him like a second look, because he was like, "Oh, they're chicks, like, I trust them."
Yeah, they look believable. But like me, he just kept yelling at me and I didn't respond.
Yeah, he yelled at you like 3 times, because he went in like a little bit before me, and then I was like, "Oh man, like, he's gonna get caught." And then he called him like 3 times, like, "Sir, excuse me, sir, can I see your ticket?" And then he just acted like he didn't even hear him, and then couldn't tell that you were ignoring him. I just literally thought you had like bad hearing, or that you knew where you were going to sit. And so that's when I was like, after he said like the 3rd one, he was like, "Sir," and then he was like, "Oh, whatever." He's sitting there. That's when I knew. I was like, "It's go time, baby." And so like right as he did that, I knew he wasn't gonna give me a second chance, because he just spent all that energy trying to like get you, and you didn't like give in. So I knew that he wasn't gonna give in on me either, because if I was in his situation, I would have been doing the same thing. I would have been like screw it, like, I don't care, like, I'm getting paid like $10, like it's not worth it for me. I just remember that as my experience. And it was really funny too, because the day before, it was like the 2 days before was the Final Four, so like both teams in the Final Four played. I can't remember which teams played at which times, but Jared and his friends went in, and they didn't have tickets because they thought they bought tickets for like one game, but they ended up buying it for the championship game. And so when they went up to the thing, they were like, "No, that's actually tickets for the championship game." They were like, "Oh, dang it, now we don't know what to do." And even the lady was like, "Oh, you can just go in if it's just you." And he was like, "No, it's like me and my 4 friends." And she's like, "Oh, no." And then like he ends up having to go to the bathroom, and apparently there's like a little hole where like people were, you were going to the restroom or something.
Yeah, it was porta potties outside with a chain link fence around it.
Mm-hmm. And I think he just snuck through the chain link fence because he had to go to the bathroom. And then because he snuck in, and then he went in the bathroom, after he went, he was like, "There's no security here. Like, we should just sneak in this way." And and so he literally calls his friends, and he's like, "Guys, like, I think I know a way I can get in." And he calls them, and they're like, "Yeah, like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. Why not?" And so like they all, but I'm pretty sure they went like one at a time, and they were like, "Okay, just go to the bathroom, just go in for like 30 seconds, then just come out, and then just act like you're going to the game." And I think that's what they did, and they ended up just, I don't think they went and sat in any chairs or seats, but they ended up just standing in like a good section and ended up watching some really great basketball games.
And when Jared texted us and told us that he snuck in, you were like, because you knew so much about ticketing, you went, "There's no way you could sneak in, no way."
Yeah, but then I think I've after all my experience too, though, like, now I just realize that security just doesn't care. Like, they really, at games, they just don't really have the manpower. Nobody really cares enough. Even, I saw a video the other day. It was a soccer match, I think, and someone had just won, and like fans were storming the stadium, and the security guards had their hands out, their arms out, like stretched out, and like people were just running around them. The security wasn't moving, and there was a video of a guy literally walking through the arms of the security people. The security people didn't even move. Like, it was like, oh, we're like kind of doing our job. But it was so bad. It was really funny.
I don't know if I told you this story, but when Petco just opened up, Jim came down with his 3 boys and Diane to the game, and they had that along the third base line. It was like a buffet. I don't know what it is now, but it was for those seats, and we had seats there, and I just thought that the meal was included with the seats, and I told Jim that, and he went in there and ate, and then they tried to like charge him. He goes, "Oh no, this is part of the seat," and he never did pay. Plating up your food at the buffet, you can watch the game. I mean, it's a great sit.
Oh yeah. No, the Petco Park's great. Like, I mean, working there and being there was super, super fun. I always enjoyed just working it. But yeah, that's definitely got a piece of like, oh, people trying to like sneak in, and it's like, no, you can't do that. And even when I forget who was saying, it might have been you that was saying like, oh yeah, like we just like sneak past these people all the time, and I was like, well, that used to be me. Like I'm taking offense to that. Because that was, like, my job, like, like, now I'm just, like, well, now I definitely see, like, from the fans' perspective where it's, like, oh, yeah, like, that's the move. But, like, from my perspective, it was, like, dang, like, now I know, like, that you're doing that, so, like, we can better prepare or something. But now, since I don't do that anymore, I'm, like, I don't really care anymore either.
I didn't know. Any oyster shucking jobs in Orange County since you learned how to shuck an oyster in New Orleans.
That's right. They don't really, because there aren't really oysters out here, or like seafood. The only seafood we have out here is tilapia. For those who don't know, tilapia is like his least favorite fish because apparently they eat poop, and that's the reason. That's the only reason they don't eat it. Famous for your calling me and leaving me like messages, and when I was working with the Rams, he called me as Sean McVay, and then he asked me for like to make sure that Aaron Donald got fed tilapia. But I've gotten them from Jeff Bezos, UCSB Buddy, the robot, Sean McVay, Duncan, who's his neighbor. Oh, here's one.
Yeah, I liked UCSB Buddy.
Those are funny too. Those are so. I mean, yeah, they were annoying, but they were also hilarious. At one point, I was getting them like once a week.
What? Did you ever play back to your parents?
Yeah, well, I used to tell him that. Yeah, David's calling me and he's leaving me messages and as like UCSB Buddy. He's like, "Hello, my name is UCSB Buddy. I hope you are doing well in school and not doing any drugs." Yes. Smell. Exactly.
Your parents signed up for the service.
Those were the messages I would receive on a weekly basis. Those are the fun. That's the fun part of living with Dave. He always makes fun of you for whatever you're doing. Oh, you're making. Oh, you bought tilapia? That's gross. I'm never cooking that.
Dude, you left it here too.
Huh? Oh, I know. I left it there. Well, you never gave me an opportunity to cook it. I was gonna mix it up in like one of the meals I was gonna make. I was gonna be like, hey, I made fish, and then like you'd be like, oh, like mahi mahi, and I'd be like, kind of, and then you'd be like, oh, sweet, like let me try it, and then you'd be like, oh, Sam, this is really good. What was the fish called again? I was like, oh yeah, that's tilapia, and you'd be like, oh, so that would probably be what would happen. Well, hey, thanks for being on the podcast.
You're welcome.